So clearly you're a hodler. But for the people who are terrified, who have never been on this roller coaster before, shorter term, what does the trajectory of Bitcoin look like to you this year?
I feel like it's consolidating at this level. This is a great entry point for institutional investors. I talk to high net worth individuals, family offices, public company executives, private company owners, and they watch Bitcoin run up in 2021. And there are a lot of people that would be afraid to own it if it was going up 400% a year. But if they're staring at it and it's 40% off the all-time high and it's consolidating, and they see that it's being embraced by people like Bill Miller, by very well-respected investors. It's being embraced by the regulators. It's being embraced by senators and congressmen and public investors and public companies. They're looking at this as like a good entry point. I'd be remiss, Emily, not to make a more important point, which is what's really going on here at a macro level is inflation. The CPI headline inflation is 7%. Look at the Turkish lira. It's collapsing. The peso is collapsing. So there's a volatility story for a conventional investor in Manhattan that's got a portfolio of equities. But 75% of the world can't buy the S&P index. They're in Africa, Asia, South America, and if they've got their assets in banks, they're going to have them seized. They can't buy the equity. So the real story here is digital property that solves a problem that 8 billion people face.
The big question is then, are you going to buy more? Yes or no?
Yeah, we're going to buy more. We're buying more with our cash flows. We've adopted a Bitcoin standard, Emily. That means that when we generate cash, we sweep it into Bitcoin. We've been generating, anywhere from $70 to $100 million of cash flow. So we will also buy Bitcoin with debt. We bought Bitcoin with $1.7 billion worth of convertible debt. We bought Bitcoin with a $500 million senior secured note that we pay 6 1/8% interest on. We also issued $1 billion worth of equity at the market, and we converted it all into Bitcoin. So combinations of cash flow, equity, debt, potentially through other partnerships.
You promised to host a yacht party when Bitcoin got to 100,000. When do you think that will be?
The 100K party. When I did that interview, it was the fall of 2020, and I think Bitcoin was trading at 15,000. And John Vallis wrote me in. He said, will you host the 100K party? And I said, well, sure, I will. There was no doubt in their mind the party's coming quite soon. I was just amazed at the confidence of Bitcoiners. I don't have a price target for when it's going to happen. What I learned is laser focus. Stuff takes time. I'm comfortable with us working through this year over year. I don't need instant overnight success.
What kind of regulation are you anticipating? Which way do you think the Washington winds are blowing?
There's a profound shared appreciation that digital assets are the future of the financial industry, and the United States needs to lead. And I've been pretty impressed at the support in the Senate and Congress from the administration and from regulators all around the world for this entire crypto economy. And in the use case as digital property, I think that the regulatory treatment is pretty clear. If you sell it at a profit, you'll owe capital gains on it, just like if you sold any other property. I think that with regard to the cryptocurrencies, the stable coins like Tether and Circle, they're going to be regulated as currencies. Clearly, the administration wants to see FDIC-approved and insured banks issue them. So I think that we're going to see the banking sector enter into the stablecoin market. I think that many other cryptos are deemed as securities and will be deemed as securities, and they're going to be regulated as securities. I think that the marketplace is waiting to see what those expectations will be. And I think it's pretty clear that the writing is on the wall with regard to crypto exchanges, right? The SEC wants them to abide by the principles and the rules of national securities exchanges. And they've said that in the spot ETF denial letter that they wrote, and on several occasions. So I think the regulation is coming to the exchanges. I think regulation is coming to to the crypto security tokens. I think that with regard to stable coins, this is going to be a good thing. Right now, the stable coin market is maybe $170 billion all in. It's grown dramatically, but the truth is there's a demand for trillions of dollars of US dollar stable coins. And the reason that that entire market hasn't grown by an order of magnitude is because companies like Amazon and Microsoft and government agencies aren't going to move billions of dollars of stable coins around unless they feel comfortable that Treasury and the administration endorses them. And when we see FDIC-approved banks, when you see a JP Morgan issue a stablecoin, you may see $1 trillion worth of that. And let me just characterize the entire movement. This is a rotation from an entrepreneurial-driven industry to an institutionally driven industry. And we're sitting at this point where we're crossing the chasm. And the question is, which entrepreneurs will be institutionalized and come public and get the appropriate regulatory licenses? Which existing institutions will choose to enter the market? Which banks, like the Silvergate banks of the world, will enter the market? And then there will be a shakeout. And obviously 6,500 cryptocurrencies are not going to be around here in a decade. You're going to see many of these things go away as the industry shakes out and as it matures.
All right, well, you led me right to our lightning round. So want to do some rapid fire questions here, just looking for quick, short answers. Top 3 tips for people who want to get into crypto but don't know where to start.
You should educate yourself first, and you shouldn't really do anything until you have a firm conviction. Then do your diligence, be very thoughtful about which vendors that you work with and how you move forward. And then third, take a long time horizon.
Bitcoin is digital property, digital energy, or digital gold. You have to pick one.
Bitcoin is digital energy, and it is the future of the internet.
Web 2.0 or 3.0? What do you think?
I think, they're all marketing phrases. If you actually put a layer of digital energy, or in this case, wrap Satoshis around your persona as you navigate through cyberspace, you can completely eliminate all the things that plague us in the internet. The next version of the internet is a layer of digital energy wrapped around digital information.
Quick one. Favorite chess move? What is it?
I guess the Queen's Gambit as an opening.
Okay. I hear you like routines. What is your daily routine?
I scan the news. I tweet, hopefully something inspirational and constructive and cheerful to the entire Bitcoin community. I hit the gym, get in some daily exercise, and then I take a round of meetings, either business meetings or podcast or something. Work through a bunch of business issues.
When do you look at the price? Is that the first or second thing?
Some days I don't look at the price. Some days I do. Mostly I just look to see the mood, so I can read the room and figure out what's appropriate and constructive to say in order to drive the narrative forward.
You mentioned Twitter. Your Twitter evolution is kind of epic, and I've got a recent tweet. We've just got a minute left. I want to read back to you. Bitcoin is a swarm of cyber hornets serving the goddess of wisdom, feeding on the fire of truth, exponentially growing ever smarter, faster, and stronger behind a wall of encrypted energy. What's the goal here with these tweets? Where are you going with that?
I tweeted that once I fully grasp what's going on with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a decentralized network, which means that there are 100 million plus people out there that are supporters of Bitcoin. There are millions and millions of nodes. It is a swarm creature, right? It's a chain reaction in cyberspace. And once you understand that Bitcoin is a chain reaction in cyberspace, it changes your view of the asset and your view of the world and your view of the future.
So what does keep you up at night, Michael? I mean, you have to think about the risks. What do you worry about? it can't be Bitcoin, sunshine, and rainbows in Miami every day.
The truth is, I'm much more comfortable today than at any point in my business career because I feel like we have found the right strategy at MicroStrategy, right? The Bitcoin standard strategy. And I'm happier going to bed every night than I ever have been because I have a mission, and my mission is to educate the world on Bitcoin. And I think I can do a lot of good doing that. And the world has a need. So nothing really keeps me up at night. I'm more motivated than ever.
I think that's a great place to end it. Michael Saylor, founder and CEO of MicroStrategy, thank you for joining us. I'm so glad we had some extended time today. Appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, thank you, Emily.